All right. Good morning, PTNI's Daily Show. Happy Thursday. Good morning, Instagram. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, podcast listeners. Happy to have you here today. It is Leadership Thursday. My name is Alan. I'm happy to be your host today. Currently have the pleasure of serving as the Chief Operating Officer here at the Institute of Clinical Excellence and a faculty member in our Fitness Athlete Division. It is Leadership Thursday. We talk all things clinic, ownership, management, business, leadership, that sort of thing. Before we get started, it is Leadership Thursday. It also means it is Gut Check Thursday. This week's Gut Check Thursday comes again to us from our friend Troy Kress down from Columbus, Ohio. He sent us this one. It is a death by style workout. So it's an every minute on the minute style workout until failure. This week, it is a constant 3 power snatches, an RX weight of 95-65. The key there is picking a weight that you can cycle, touch, and go every round unbroken. And then after the 3 power snatches every round, starting minute 1, you're going to do 1 lateral burpee over the bar. Minute 2, 2 lateral burpees over the bar. Minute 3, 3 lateral burpees over the bar, so on and so forth. Always starting each round with those 3 power snatches and working your way up until you can no longer get those burpees over the bar done inside of that minute. So once you fail to get your rep number done, you are done with the workout. Troy tells me he got towards 11 rounds. So we're thinking 8 to 12 plus rounds. We're thinking about 8 to 12 minutes of work, which is perfect for Gut Check Thursday. So many different cool ways to scale this in the clinic to get that power training in with patients. We can do something like a light hang dumbbell snatch. We can do step over burpees, elevated burpees. This is a great workout for you in the gym or the garage, but it's also a great workout for your clinic's patients as well. So give it a try this week. Some courses coming your way from ICE. We have Fitness Athlete Live this weekend down near Pittsburgh. That'll be with Mitch. And we have Lindsay out in Tempe, Arizona for extremity management. Both those courses still have spots. So if you're not doing anything this weekend, you want to hang out with Mitch or you want to hang out with Lindsay and Megan down in Arizona, make sure to sign up. We also have lumbar spine management this weekend in Charlotte, North Carolina, but that course has been sold out for quite a while. The courses at Onward Charlotte always sell in advance. Jordan has booked a second lumbar course this year. It is December 3-4. That's going to be same location in Charlotte. So if you're trying to jump into this course but missed out on signing up, make sure you jump into the December course. And here on out, basically every month, we're going to have either lumbar or cervical management at Onward Charlotte so that we open up the schedule a little bit to those of you who have been trying to get into those courses. Next weekend, you have another chance to join Mitch for Fitness Athlete Live. He will be in Columbus, Ohio at Troy's Gym. How about that? And if you're up in Halifax, Nova Scotia, up in Canada, you can join Joe Hanesco also for Fitness Athlete Live. That same weekend, we have Older Adult Live in Germantown, Maryland, and then we have Total Spine Thrust in Memphis, Tennessee. So a couple different options. That'll be Collierville. That's near Memphis. So a couple different options to join us over the next couple weeks. So let's get into today's topic. Let's talk about Be About It Continued. Let's talk about promoting a physically active and healthy lifestyle in the clinic. So first of all, shout out to Dustin Jones for calling us out here on Thursday. And I quote, we talk about progressive resistance training on every day of the week on the PTNI's Daily Show, except for Thursday. So here it is, Dustin. We're going to talk about it. Cram that up your cram hole. I took offense to that. So we're going to tackle the clinical side of what it looks like to talk about this stuff. We hear this a lot. We hear, I really can't promote physical activity. I really am not allowed to have my patients perform things like remoms or strength training or talk to them about sleep, diet, nutrition, stress, because it is not skilled and it is not something we can bill for. And already my blood pressure is rising, but we'll try to get through this in a logical and objective way instead of me just screaming for 15 minutes. So I want to tackle the research side of it, and I also want to tackle the practical application of it. And for those of you who are maybe working in an insurance-based clinic, who maybe own or a director, a manager of an insurance-based clinic, I want to talk about why it is okay to bill for this stuff, why it is okay to get paid to talk about this stuff, and really how we're doing a disservice to the entire American healthcare system if we're not tackling these topics in the clinic from a cost perspective. So first things first, there's a lot of cool research. We shared an infographic last Friday that was a survey of physical therapists that said, what do you think about promoting a healthy lifestyle in the clinic with your patients? And this was a study done with Australian physiotherapists, quite old paper now. It's about 10 years old, but really high quality survey. What was great about this paper, as we shared, is that overwhelmingly, like literally near 99% of all the folks surveyed said, yes, it is the job of the physical therapist to promote a healthy lifestyle, a physically active lifestyle, to address all these lifestyle factors in the clinic. But then they went on to ask specific questions about what was actually recommended or what they believed should be recommended. And that's really kind of when the train came off the tracks, that when we put brass to tacks, when we put rubber meets the road, whatever anagram you want to use there, whatever analogy, that when we talk about what we believe, we all believe we should be doing this stuff. But then when we ask, what are you actually doing? We see there is a huge disconnect. And when we ask these physiotherapists specific questions, we found that the majority of them believed that just walking, 10 minutes of walking a day, satisfied the necessary exercise that a human being needs to be healthy. That you don't need to huff and puff, quote unquote, to have a good exercise experience, and that you could just take the stairs at work as a way to avoid needing to do any other exercise throughout your day. So we see that we believe we should be doing this, and that when we're actually asked, what are we doing in the clinic with real people, we see that we fumble the ball a lot. And so there's a big question of, in the clinic, are we promoting physical activity, or are we actually promoting structured exercise? Are we performing structured exercise with our patients? Are we recommending a structured exercise program in conjunction with therapy or after therapy has ended? And what we find is that most physical therapists are not on the structured exercise continuum. They are actually on the physical activity side of the continuum. And it's very important that we recognize that those are two different things. Physical activity is not planned. It is activity throughout your day. It is things that get your heart rate up, or maybe lighter weight, moderate volume movements that you're performing that are just part of your daily life. Picking up your kids, lifting boxes at work, whatever your job task might be. And we find that we need both a combination of physical activity throughout the week plus structured exercise to really make an impact on our long-term, not only fitness, but our health as well, like our all-cause mortality. Then when we look at CDC guidelines, we need at least 2 days a week of resistance training that works every major muscle group in the body. We need 75 to 150 minutes of high-intensity cardiovascular exercise, or 150 to 300 minutes of moderate-intensity cardiovascular exercise. We also need at least 300 minutes a week of physical activity. That is not planned. That is not structured. That is not something that you go to the gym or the track and you plan to do. That is just activity throughout your day as part of your activities of daily living. And kind of what we're finding as our society gets more sedentary is that physical activity piece is falling off. Not only are folks not exercising, they're not performing that baseline physical activity. That folks are waking up, getting in their car, driving to work, sitting on a computer, driving back home, sitting on the computer again, or sitting in front of the TV and not really moving. And what we're finding in the research is that even an hour of structured exercise a day, even meeting those structured exercise requirements that the CDC recommends, is simply not enough to outpace the lack of daily physical activity. And then when we look at what physical therapists are recommending in the clinic, and really what our healthcare system is recommending in general, is we're giving generic physical activity recommendations. Go for a walk, take the stairs at work. It's not objective, we can't track it, and it's really not something we should be focused on. That is something that has to change in that person's lifestyle. Certainly we can have folks do their HEP of set an alarm and go up and down the stairs once at work or something like that. But we also need to be moving them towards a structured exercise program. So this really kind of suggests a lack of education and training at the entry level, maybe even the undergraduate level, of the differences between structured planned exercise and regular baseline physical activity. And definitely we know it's an issue in entry-level physical therapy education. And going on to this to further lines of research, even older research, that when we ask primary care physicians and we ask physical therapists, are you addressing exercise, nutrition, sleep? Are you addressing lifestyle with your patients? And what we find is the primary care physicians say, no, that's the role of the physical therapist. The physical therapists say, no, I'm not allowed to talk about most of that stuff. That is the role of the primary care physician. And oh my gosh, what we realize is that no one is talking about this with patients. And so we are not getting it done. It's actually not being talked about. It's not being addressed. And that really, we can't change the field of primary care for physicians, right? We are not physicians. We are not in a place to change their practice. We are trying hard to change our own practice as much as we can, but ultimately we're only responsible for what happens with our patients in our care in our clinic. And that means being more vigorous with how we talk about, yes, getting more physical activity, but also what are you doing for structured exercise? Are you doing anything at all? What are you doing for resistance training? Are you doing anything at all? And we need to be addressing that in the clinic. And I would say, who better than us, right? Getting into the healthcare system as I gotten a little bit older, needing to get physicals and these kind of regular checks that go on. That is not being done in the primary care clinic, right? There is no time. There is a 5 to 10 minute visit, maybe with maybe the doctor, but probably a nurse practitioner, right? Especially if you're healthy or you look healthy. If your weight is normal, if your blood pressure is normal, you are in and you are out. There is no discussion about any of that stuff. You look healthy, come back when you have a problem. So who better than us? We get to spend so much time with our patients. If you are in a traditional clinic and you're seeing somebody 1, 2, 3 times a week, every week, week over week, month over month, we have so much time with our patients. So who better than us to address it? We have the time. In general, this could be better across our profession, but we have the equipment as well, right? Your nurse practitioner is not going to be able to take you through a remom. They don't have a bike. They don't have any stuff in their clinic, right? They have a room with a blood pressure cuff. So we have the unique ability that when patients come to see us for an issue, we can help them with that issue, but also introduce them to fitness and get them hooked on fitness as part of our practice, right? It just falls into naturally what we're doing. We are able to reduce symptoms and introduce fitness at the same time. The primary care physician might be able to reduce symptoms, but probably not in session, right? They're probably going to recommend that you come to physical therapy, or they're probably going to give you a prescription or an injection or something. So your relief is not only not immediate, it might be several days or weeks away, versus when someone comes to see us, we know we're pretty good at short-term change. We don't chase short-term change just to say, hey, look, I'm a miracle worker with my hands. We chase that to say, hey, we calmed your symptoms down. It seems like nothing too serious is going on. Let's get out to the gym and lift some stuff. Let's get on the bike and do a couple cycles a hit. Let's put together a little remom and get your heart rate up a little bit. Who better than us to package that all together? And so most of you watching this are probably bought into that, but certainly some of you watching, and this mainly comes from a couple comments we've had on posts over the past couple days, we definitely see that a barrier being thrown up is, how do I bill for this? I can't do this in my clinic. Yes, I think it should be done. Yes, I do agree that we're the profession to do this, but this is not skilled care. Watching somebody do HIIT on a bike is not skilled care. Having somebody run through a remom and just do exercise, quote unquote, is not skilled care. Talking to somebody about sleep or diet or nutrition is not something I can bill for. And I'm going to push really hard back against that, because I can't think of anything more skilled. I can't think of anything more cost effective to the healthcare system than literally doing that stuff. There are codes in physical therapy billing for doing kinetic exercise, for doing large amplitude functional movement. It is the 97530 code, the therapeutic activity code. A lot of us know this code is the one that pays the most, but we're not really sure why we use it. We're just told to try to charge a unit of it every visit because it pays more than all the other ones. This code is for doing functional exercise with people. So yes, it is skilled. That is the government saying, we think this is skilled care. This is your ability to bill for doing this. I love what Paul Erickson says. Paul Erickson is a physical therapist down from the Dallas area. He owns Thrive Physical Therapy. He's taken some of our courses. One of the most wonderful human beings I've ever had the chance to interact with. Somebody who has owned and sold several physical therapy chains, who has a wide range of experience, not only clinically, but from the ownership side of the clinic. And he says, therapeutic activity is for anything that ends in ing, deadlifting, rowing, exercising. That is what therapeutic activity is for. So yes, we can bill for doing 5 sets of 5 deadlifts. Yes, we can bill for the rest time that patient needs to be able to recover enough to lift heavy for that 5 sets of 5. Yes, we can bill for patients doing a remom in the clinic. You should not be worried about getting in trouble with the insurance company. You should not let that limit how you practice, because it is built in to our systems. Obviously, if you're taking cash, none of this applies to you, but you should feel good nonetheless that you are legally practicing within your license if you're having patients run through strength training and remoms in your clinic. Yes, it is skilled. Yes, it is medically necessary, because arguably what we do in the clinic is having long-term dividends, not only for the patient, but for everybody. We are helping the American healthcare system by keeping people in physical therapy. I want to challenge you that if the average physical therapy reimbursement, let's say, is $125 a visit, that's about $10,000 a year if somebody comes to physical therapy twice a week for literally their entire life. And you might say, Alan, that seems like a lot. And I would say that seems like a steal. That seems like a steal for the patient. That seems like a steal for the healthcare system, for the government, for the insurance company, whoever is involved. For people that pay taxes, that is a steal for every party involved. Because when we look at what we spend on healthcare, we spend a lot. The average American spends $1,500 a year on prescription medication, right? That's just pills. And that's an average, right? That means there are people who are spending a lot more than that, who are pulling that average up. You might be thinking, Alan, I don't take any medications. My spending is zero. Well, that means there's somebody out there spending probably a lot more than you that is pulling that average up. We also spend $12,500 a year average out of pocket on healthcare. So stuff that is not covered, whether we have a high deductible plan or stuff that's just straight up not covered by insurance, we spend about $15,000 a year on average each individual for healthcare on top of what we already pay for our health insurance. There are folks out there spending twice that if you include their healthcare premium. So the fact that we can look and say, if somebody comes to see us twice a week for really judicious strength training and really focused conditioning and also keeping them feeling good, feeling pain-free, then that is a steal for everybody involved. So we should not see this flag of, I can't bill for this. I'm not allowed to bill for this. Yes, you can. You are allowed to bill for this. There are codes specifically for this. And if we're not addressing this stuff and we're not introducing people to it in the clinic, all we're doing is pushing those healthcare costs and all of those side effects down the road to somebody else, and arguably back to ourselves as we get older, right? As we go to retire and we have taxes on our retirement and we move to a fixed income, as retirement sets in, we're thinking, where are all these taxes going? It is going towards paying for other people's healthcare. So we are doing not only our future selves a disservice, but also our patients by refusing to do this stuff in the clinic with our patients, or by letting our managers, owners, directors tell us that we can't be doing this in the clinic because it's not skilled, it's not built. I'll tell you what's not skilled is a unit of ultrasound, a unit of E-stim, a unit of hot pack, a unit of cold pack, right? All that passive stuff that we have no issue billing for totally pays like garbage and doesn't do anything to change that person's long-term health or fitness. It might calm their symptoms down temporarily, but it's certainly not going to help them down the road. It's not going to do anything to reduce future healthcare spending, like 2 times a week with a physical therapist working on strength training, focused strength training, objective, testing maxes, testing submaxes, programming off that, looking at putting things together that address deficits into a REMOM. So not only do we address local weakness, local endurance issues, local balance issues, local mobility issues, but we're also doing it in a way that facilitates moderate to high intensity cardiovascular exercise. We get to check all the boxes, right? This is something I often share with students who come into the clinic. Of a lot of these patients sometimes are deciding in their day, I have an hour. I can go to the gym or I can come to physical therapy. Which one do I choose? I would rather them choose physical therapy because we can do both, right? You can't get physical therapy working out at Planet Fitness. At physical therapy, we can calm down any pain you might have, answer any questions about your general health and fitness you might have, discuss diet, discuss nutrition, discuss sleep, and we can get a workout in all at the same time that are going to be unique to your deficits. So when this argument comes that this is not skilled, I can't bill for this, this is unmonitored, if you are spending that time with your patient one-on-one, you are doing them a great service. You're doing a service really to the entire healthcare system. You're also helping the insurance company, even if you are so worried that the insurance company is going to audit you for doing this. Those codes allow for it. So make sure that we're billing for it. So rest assured that what you're doing is allowed. It's billable. You should feel confident in doing it, and you should not let this be an excuse any longer. So remember, the research shows that we are not addressing this enough. The research might even suggest that no one is really addressing it, that we are punting the ball to the primary care doc who is punting the ball to us, and the only person losing is the patient in the middle. It suggests that no one is better suited to do this than us, due to our ability to spend a lot of time with our patients, to have equipment needed, to have the resources to introduce exercise, sometimes to people who may have never exercised before in their life, and that this is indeed skilled treatment. So I hope this was helpful. I saw some comments asking about numbers on healthcare spending. I'll get these posted in the comments a little bit later. So I hope you have a fantastic Thursday. We're actually going to continue this discussion tomorrow, addressing specifically the diet and nutrition side of the equation, both with quote unquote regular patients and higher level athletes when we jump on tomorrow morning for Fitness Athlete Friday. So if you found this helpful, please tune in tomorrow. Have a great Thursday. Have fun with Gut Check Thursday. I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Bye, everybody.